One of the first cases I covered on my channel was a missing young woman. I think you all know her, Madison Scott. She seemed like such a cool kid. Madison vanished, or was last seen, on May 28, 2011, while celebrating a friend's birthday at a campsite at a lake called Hogsback, about 25 kilometers southeast of her hometown of Vanderhoof, BC. Madison was 20 years old at that time. Madison's case captured the hearts and minds of millions worldwide. Her cute pixie looks and flashing red hair. She looks very similar, I think, to the Irish Disney princess Merida from Brave. She could be our sister, friend, or next-door neighbor. Madison's heartbroken family searched relentlessly year after year, pleading with anyone that had information to please come forward. News reporters, journalists, and newspapers carried her story to every small town, city, and hamlet in all countries around the globe. As the years trudged on with no answers from tight-lipped RCMP officers, if they even had answers, people began to believe that this would always be a cold case. Madison's parents, Eldon and Dawn, and siblings Ben and Georgia, never gave up hope that one day they would bring Maddie home. Maddie was an active young person that loved dirt biking, figure skating, horseback riding, team sports, and hanging out with her friends and family, and she was adored by them all. Madison worked alongside her father as an apprentice heavy-duty mechanic. My son is doing that right now, so I think that's pretty cool. I think that Madison was a really cool girl, and they worked in the logging industry. Her brother stated that she was just as comfortable in a dress as she was in an oil-covered pair of overalls. She was vivacious, fun-loving, playful, and had a social personality that would often do many things at spur of the moment. She was also described as caring, affectionate, and generous by all that knew her. When Madison was younger, she was really into making videos of dramas for her school's drama club. Her school years were filled with fun, and she made many great memories with her friends. Her teachers were devastated when she vanished. Madison drove a white 1990 Ford F-150 truck. She was just a really cool small-town kid that loved to camp and have fun with her friends on weekends. On this particular weekend, May 27th, 2011, Maddie and a friend, Jordy Balduke, were not particularly close. They hadn't been for years, but Jordy reached out to Maddie and asked her to give her a ride to a birthday bash at Hogsback Lake. According to news articles, it is said that there were around 46 people at that birthday party. Maddie and Jordy were planning on tenting near the lake. They set up Maddie's tent and went on to search for firewood, picked up some beer, and prepped for the party. And drinking amongst good friends began. A hearty fire was glowing, and the youngsters were enjoying the evening. As it progressed, some men became aggressive, and a fight ensued. Now the details are unclear, but from what I can gather, it is that some older people showed up and things got more heated. Jordy's boyfriend came by, and she was very drunk and ended up in the fire momentarily. She wanted to leave the party, which she did, with her boyfriend, and left Maddie with the crowd. Some of the last people to leave the party after it was winding down asked her if she wanted to leave with them, and she refused because she was already cozy in her sleeping bag, saying that she wanted to stay at the campsite. That was between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. on May 28th, 2011. On May 29th, when Maddie didn't return home, her parents made their way to the lake. They found her truck with her purse still inside, as well as her flattened tent at the campsite. The reason that the tent was flattened came to light after it was revealed that another much larger party occurred the next night, and Maddie was already missing, and a young partygoer jumped on top of it after it was apparent that the campsite was actually abandoned. Police stated that the last time her phone was used was at 7 a.m. on Saturday, May 28th, approximately 4 hours after she was last seen. The search that followed after she was reported missing was remarkable. Hundreds of volunteers searched for thousands of hours. The police conducted dozens of interviews and followed up on hundreds of tips and clues. A reward of $25,000 was immediately offered, and it doubled to $50,000 quickly. The description of what Madison was wearing the night she disappeared included a black t-shirt and blue capri jeans. The RCMP stated that there was no sign of a struggle, and apart from the clothes she was wearing, the only two items known to be missing from her area were her large bundle of keys and her iPhone 4 in a light blue case. Her friends and family continued searching and distributing informational flyers and setting up billboards all throughout northern BC. The reward increased to $100,000, and the family and friends put on an annual poker ride to raise awareness. American media came to Vanderhoof and included her case on a popular episode of 48 Hours. The police believe from the beginning that Madison met with foul play. The police also reported that people cooperated with requests for polygraph tests. The people from the party, that is. They believe they cleared everyone that attended that party that weekend. RCMP saw no evidence of anything that would cause her to leave the campsite on her own, such as a flat tire. Rick Beatty from Vanderhoof Search and Rescue said that, like RCMP, many assisting the search came to the conclusion that Madison must have left via vehicle because there was no evidence to indicate that she left by foot. Some have theorized that Maddie's disappearance is related to the Highway of Tears, but police believe that her case doesn't fit the criteria. Another theory to ponder is the involvement of Fribbjørn Bjørnsen, a 28-year-old single father who had a history of drug abuse. In an interview by 48 Hours, Jordy Balduc said that Maddie and him spent time together socially. Police investigated the connection and didn't find any significant links between the two cases. Fribbjørn Bjørnsen was murdered in 2012 by a group of people. James David Jr. Charlie was convicted of the brutal murder by a jury in 2017. During the 2017 trial, the Crown argued that Charlie was one of the several people who assaulted Bjørnsen in a basement of a home over a prolonged period of time. The case goes on to describe other horrendous acts committed on Bjørnsen. It was vicious. These men are monsters. Wesley Duncan, 27, Jesse Bird, 31, James Charlie, 23, and a female, Teresa Charlie, 21. On May 29, 2023, exactly 12 years to the day after Madison disappeared, her remains were discovered on a rural property on the southeast side of Vanderhoof. RCMP investigators conducted a search of the property through a warrant. A heavy police presence covered the property in the 6500 block of South Slope Road. She had been positively identified. A mere 3 days prior, the family had held her annual poker ride, the weekend of May 26th. I am going to share with you the Scott's family's statement that they released on May 31st, 2023, after Maddie's remains were positively identified. The statement goes as follows. Since May 28, 2011, we have been focused to find Maddie. While there is some relief that Maddie has been found, we are left with many questions that now has us motivated to find answers to truly bring Maddie home. The emotions that we have experienced since Sunday cannot be summarized. However, we are once again astonished at the outpouring of support that we have received from family, friends, and our communities. This support has been unwavering since day one, which we are forever grateful, and truly believe that it is the reason that Maddie has been found. As a family, we now have the opportunity to allow Maddie to rest, although nothing has been planned. We trust that with patience, persistence, and belief, that we will receive answers and remain motivated to achieve closure. We encourage anyone that has any information that may further the investigation into Maddie's disappearance to bring this forward to the RCMP. Please call the tip line at 778-290-5261 or 1-800-543-4822. We are extremely appreciative for the continued support, but kindly ask for your privacy through these times. Sincerely, the Scott family. So 12 years to the day she was finally found and identified, the mystery of what happened to Madison Scott is closer to being solved. There is a lot of information about her, so picking through and choosing what to share with you can be daunting. I hope this video has helped you understand Madison's case. I made a video on Maddie a few years ago when the channel was new. The link will be left in the comments below, along with some other informational links. A candlelight vigil was held on June 4th, 2023 at Nechako Valley Secondary School in Vanderhoof, with over 2,000 in attendance.